So let me tell you what my plan is here. Like, one thing that I really always want to keep doing throughout my life is thinking about the rest of the Eastgate Builders community and what everyone else is doing and where we're heading towards as a collective group. I'm just going to quickly introduce you to, because this is going to go on our YouTube channel.
All right.
And we got 17,000 subscribers. A good portion of them probably know who you are, but for the ones that don't, I'm going to introduce you. Okay, we're rolling. Okay, everyone, thank you for watching this. I'm actually on the phone here now with Long-Haired Boy. I don't know if you guys have heard of Long-Haired Boy, but his real name is Damon. And Damon and I have had an interesting relationship over the past few years. He started off actually because we knew each other because he bought some parts off me. One of the first ever electronic skateboard do-it-yourself kits, I think you would call it. I forget. I think I called it the E-Power kit.
Yes.
And Damon made his first mad skateboard with that, and then I built it for him, and then Damon started making skateboards for people and making mad custom things, and he's got a business now making awesome skateboards, and everyone wants them, and our relationship has been interesting. It's evolved. At one point, you're doing some repair stuff and distribution stuff with Enertion and a whole bunch of things. But the coolest thing about this community is that not just Damon and I, who are technically competitors in some way, but we're also friends from the internet,
Competitors.
And that's the same with everyone. So I'm on the phone with Damon now. We're just going to have a chat and see what's going on since like 2014 when we first met each other, I guess. So what's going on, mate? How are you?
Doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's funny you bring that up because we were, Jake and I were talking about our relationship the other day, actually, and I had to come up with a term with it. Because we're not enemies, but we are competitors, but we're friends. So I just kind of came up with competitors because you have frenemies, but that's not what we are. So it's like you got me started with your crazy shit, and you're still doing all this crazy shit, and I love it, and I'm selling your stuff, and I'm still using your stuff in my builds, and I can't imagine a better relationship with a competitor.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, put it this way, it can go both ways, can't it? I mean, there are people who I can 100% guarantee won't want to talk to me.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm the kind of guy who finds it really hard to, the emotion that, the energy that you need for the hatred emotion or the hate emotion, in my mind, is a waste of energy. I've never really been able to hate anyone for a long period of time because it's just, for me, it's like, what's the point? So I'm always generally more like, let's just be mates versus let's have a lifelong hatred. And, I could name a few people, but I won't. But I can guarantee that over the last 3 or however many years it is, I've definitely built up some haters. What about you, man? You got haters?
I don't think so. Like that's
you don't have any haters.
I don't think that's the weirdest thing about it. Like, I've had people who have legitimately tried to get on my bad side. Like, they really tried hard. But a lot of people go around talking about, like the art of war and quoting the art of war and dumb shit. But you really do have to keep your enemies closer. Like, there's other vendors.
Keep your enemies close.
Yes.
Yeah. What's that saying?
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. But But like in business, there is actually something to that. Like, I think that if people are working together, the whole industry can grow, and that's something that you've said, and that's something that I really agree with. And I feel like lots of other vendors have approached me, trying to get something out of me, or trying to Actually, some of them have deliberately misdirected me. There's more than a few vendors that we deal with on a regular basis that we see on the forums and wherever else that have over the years like tried to give me bad advice and like mess me up. And I could, I mean, I'm with you on that whole hate thing. So when you ask me if I have any enemies, I don't, because I choose not to. I could go back and like, you know, talk smack about this vendor or that vendor, or, you know, it's funny, and Jeremiah might kill me for talking about this, but All On Board Company, we had this little clash going for a little bit, and then we decided to bury the hatchet, and now he's sending me free wheels. I
remember that clash.
Yeah.
I think it was about me, wasn't it?
Yeah, somehow. It was about something. I don't know. Basically, something about there were some Vesks involved, and he canceled an order on me because he heard me said that I was saying something about him, but really what it was is it was a bunch of customers running game, and I found this out later. And customers will do this. You got to watch out. They will run a game on vendors and get them like trying to work against each other so that they can get better deals. It's messed up. It's messed up. So it turned out one of my customers was talking smack to him about me and getting us in trouble with each other. That's the kind of high school stuff I'm trying to stay out of. Like, I don't want any part of that kind of thing. So,
yeah, I mean, I hear you. Like, there's that old saying is like, you know, the customer's always right and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know what? To my customers, like a lot of my audience watching this are probably my customers. But let me just say this. It's my job to try to keep everyone happy, right? But there's just some people you just can't make happy, you know, and they're best not doing business with us. I mean, and look, I suppose what we should explain here a little bit to anyone who's watching this, the community that we built, the electric skateboard builders community, which is based around
that we built.
Yeah, I mean, I made a forum. I made a forum and I have to pay the bills, but it's not it's not mine. It's like the community's, right? And one really interesting thing that I think has made it grow is that vendors and customers have been able to work, you know, be together in the same community. Like where Endless Sphere back in the days, vendors, it wasn't really a forum set up for vendors. It was just for the customers, right? And I always found that really problematic, especially when you're trying to grow an industry, right? When you're trying to start up businesses and the customers need vendors because they want products, and the vendors who are trying to start up need customers. It's like this, you know, balance that needs to exist. And the Eskate Builders Forum, I think, created that. But the interesting thing about it is there's always that tension there, you know, like there's always, especially like when orders are overdue or when there's problems. I mean, the majority of the people in that community aren't vendors. I would say it's mostly like 90% of them are the end user, and maybe 10 or 5% are people like you and I who are trying to just have a little business and sell some stuff and trying to, you know, meet the demands of the market and the community. And that creates conflict. And I mean, I'm an emotional guy, and sometimes I
Me too.
get caught up in that shit, you know?
Yeah.
Where you've managed to keep it clean somehow. Like you've managed not to get embroiled in all this rubbish, which is good, man. Congratulations.
I don't know. Like I gotta be honest. I'm a two-faced bastard on that forum. I get on that forum and I'm like, you know, I have like a certain character that I play there, and you know, you have to kind of do that for your own sanity. Everybody has a face, you know. Everybody puts on their work face when they go to work, you know. Because you can't go to work like you and I would like to go to work. You know, we go to the office and we're like, "Fuck off, boss," and like, I'm gonna drink a beer here. Yeah. We can't do that. We put our suit on. You know, we go to the office. We sit in the cubicle. Well, I do, and so I gotta come home, and then I gotta be LHB. You know, and LHB's a little street. Yeah. He's a little, you know, he's got his hands dirty. He's from Mississippi. You know, and which is basically Australia. So
yeah.
So on the forum, I got to put on this face, and this forum face is a very non-conflict face. Like, I'll get on there and if I see a thread that's all stupid and people are getting stupid, then I'll just go in there and tell a bunch of your mom jokes and just completely derail and diffuse it until nobody's interested. That's my style of moderation.
I think your humor, your ability to use humor, has served you well. I mean, for me, I'm a funny guy sometimes, right? But sometimes things get beyond humor for me, and I just lose it, But you always are able to keep that involved, and that's important. You can keep it lighthearted, and I think that's important. Actually, at the moment, to be honest, I don't read a lot of what's going on there. I've just been fucking too busy. My life has sort of been hell since I decided to try to take over the pre-built mass market game. That was a roller coaster, but
more like a steamroller. So here's the way somebody was asking me, what's the difference between you and Enertion, and also what's the difference between Enertion and Evolve or anyone else really? Where I've stayed small, you've basically exploded. And what I think is interesting is your method, the way that you would just pragmatically and brutally attack the market like a steamroller going through the jungle. It's it's freaking nuts. It's if anybody got in your way, they're just getting mowed over. Entirely new supply chains, entirely new just shit out of nowhere, out of nothing, and I think that's amazing. I come out here and I think I'm badass because I'm building my own battery packs and fuck China, but I'm only shipping to the U.S. because I don't have a DHL contract, and I can't get my shit built in a country that gives fuck all about flight regulations and watt hours. It's hard. And on one hand, I'm watching Enertion just blaze this crazy trail out of nowhere with awe. It's awesome watching it. And on the other hand, I'm a bit jealous.
Oh man, thanks. It's nice to hear that. I don't hear too many people actually say nice things.
I know, it's gotta suck.
Yeah, so no, that's nice to hear. I mean, one of the things, one of my philosophies, I guess, is go hard or go home. That's sort of one thing that I've just and it's a bad thing sometimes. It gets me in trouble. Sometimes I bite off more than I can chew, and then I'm spend most of my time trying to swallow really untasty shit. But if I can somehow pull it off, at least I'll look back and go, well, fuck, okay, we did that. That was cool.
Nah, man, when you pull it off. Yeah.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
You just hired one of my friends. I've got friends here working for you now.
Where?
That's where you are, Jason. You're hiring people down the street from me.
Sometimes, I've got to, working in my office here, I'm you don't see people. You don't talk to everyone. But then to realize you've got people all over the globe, coming together to try to make things happen. I suppose when you look at it that way, it puts a smile on my face for sure.
Yeah.
My evil plan to take over the world is coming to fruition. I mean, one of my basic strategies there to make these things happen, it's got to be win-win. Everyone's got to get something out of it for them. I've got to get something out of it for me.
Yep.
And if I can keep doing that with everyone that I work with, no matter what country they're in, we all grow together, you know what I mean? We all get better and bigger and learn more. And you know what? I think we've got to do that as well, because China, some of the things that are coming out of China, they're getting their shit together as well. I mean,
Yes.
I sort of feel like
Yes.
it's us versus them, you know? It's like this...
so much us versus them.
Yeah.
Dude, have you seen, okay, oh my God, like, the stuff coming out of China, every time, we'll call him Ivan because he sells me Cool Wheel stuff. Every time someone like Ivan or Jalen from Maytech or, you know, all these people, they contact me and they're like, hey, we're looking into making this. And I look at it and I'm like, oh damn. They're only like a year behind us max. Like I'm still using like tried and true stuff, but my flavor is just, it's ridiculous. It's bleeding edge. The stuff you're doing, you're like actually inventing like components and redoing components and having PCBs made and shit. And over there in China, they're like watching us and seeing what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
They're watching the forum.
Sure.
Here's the crazy thing. We're not just like staying on top of the e-skate market and digging our niches. Like I've got this crazy niche just way at this crazy 12S niche. Nobody's even up there yet except for Olin, and he's not doing customs. But you're just immediately taking over the 10S market. As soon as Evolve should be shaking. Like they need to dump all their stock now, seriously. Because once the Raptor actually gets out there and you guys have your manufacturing channels settled, there will be no more Evolve. Which,
well,
on
Evolve,
one hand,
I've seen Evolve boards with FOC boxes in them now.
yeah. I get a lot of people asking me to put
interesting.
FOC boxes in Evolves, and I'm putting Raptor battery packs in Evolves. I've been doing that for about a year now. I'm making a killing putting 10S4P 30Q packs in Evolve boards.
Nice.
And that you know, you have to hand it to Evolve because they made a nice piece of equipment. They just effed up and put the wrong battery pack in it. They really did.
Well, it's cheap. Everything's about price. I'm starting to learn that.
Yeah.
In my business now. I mean,
they're making millions.
Yeah.
Jesus, selling this shit. $2,000 for that? Oh my God. I should be charging $4,000 for my boards, not $3,500.
Exactly. If you use their profit percentage or whatever and applied it to your business, your price would be $1,000 more. Just you know, it's ridiculous.
And I know people are going to watch this and they're going to be like, LHB, I already can't afford your fucking boards. But believe it or not, my wife and I, and it's funny you came with that exact figure. My wife and I were talking tonight, and I'm like, I gotta raise my prices. I'm just gonna tack $1,000 onto my freaking build fee because here's the deal. I got builds that are 7 months old. You know why? Like here, this is crazy. Everybody when they order from me, they know it's gonna take a little while. I usually quote 6 to 8 weeks, and probably 80% of the time I can get it out in 6 to 8 weeks without a problem. But I occasionally get, and I've got 3 of them right now, boards that are older than 3 months, and that's because I'm not doing like every board is not identical. In fact, I don't think I've ever built the same board twice, ever.
Yeah, they're all custom.
Here, I saw some stuff on Alibaba that kind of threw me for a loop. There's a new BMS out there the Chinese are producing called the Smart BMS, and some of them are charge only, some of them are charge and discharge, but they come with they're actually kind of cheap, but they come with. Or you have to buy like this $800 software package to program them.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. I mean, so I'm just like ignoring that completely because this JTAG BMS is where it's at, I think. Even though I have to download a special version of Vesk Tool just to talk to it. Don't tell Trampa. Vesk.
Yeah. This video might get fucking copyright protected.
I need to put my Vesk shirt on. Oh my God. I wish I had one. I'm going to make one. Just so I can do these
what are
videos.
your... I don't know if I've spoken to you about this, but what are your thoughts about what Trampa did with that? Do you reckon it was good for the community or
I think they came to the community and they bought a shovel from us and they started digging a hole for themselves. And I think, the dirt's about over their head now.
Yeah, I mean, does he even comment on the forum anymore? Frank? Hi, Frank, if you're watching.
Hi, Frank. so, yeah, no, they. I haven't seen them in a while, and that whole, oh my god, like right in the middle of somebody else's thread about copyright, I was just like, why is this even a topic anymore? You can't copyright a freaking open source hardware. I don't. Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't even know how they got any protection on the word VESC.
You can trademark it to death. You can trademark it. I mean, okay, so if you tried to trademark VESC in the U.S., more than likely someone could just call up either the EFF, or not the EFF, but like one of those open source foundations, and they would just sue. Because VESC is an open source project. You can't trademark something that's a common word like that. So, I mean, it's already taken. So they did it in the. I guess they're in the UK where they
did it in the UK, but still a trademark. Like as far as I know, and if there's any trademark attorneys or whatever you are called that do this, you can comment below this video if you're watching it. But from my understanding, it's called prior art or something along those lines.
It is called prior art.
If there's a word, it's like me trying to trademark the word dog. Oh, that's a bad example, but you just can't.
You can't
pick things that are commonly used already and trademark it.
Yeah,
but they were able to. So obviously, whoever was reviewing their application didn't do any fucking research. But you could just type VESC into a fucking Google browser and you would see, there's about 1,000 posts about this already, and there's products people are selling. Is it a new word that they invented?
No.
No. It's not, yeah. Obviously that didn't happen.
No, none of that happened.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I think this is an interesting topic for me, like, because I love building businesses, as you know, and
Yeah, so it's not even that anymore, but it's definitely based on that, and its heart and soul is based on that, and in the community, you know. So you can't just take that out from under.
Yeah.
And what cracks me up the most is, okay, so they went there, they did that, but their execution was flawed in a way that I don't think they even thought of, which is, I mean, everyone just changed their names.
Yeah.
Because you can't trademark hardware or an open source project. You can only trademark a word or a phrase.
I think they had the right intentions initially, and they wanted to do something for the community, and they wanted to make it better. But what they didn't factor in is that people like Olin, Jeremiah from Olin, and people like Blasto, were able to make it better based on the original design. They made it better. They found the weak spots, and DRV errors or whatever, which plagued the industry for the first 2 years of VESC, basically don't happen anymore. And that was the reason VESC 6. That's where VESC 6 started to get born from. That problem. They're like, let's make a more robust platform. Let's make the hardware better. And they went on this big fucking mission. And then they're like, whilst they're in that mission, they're like, let's fucking stop everyone else from using VESC. And let's put all this stuff in place to make it difficult for everyone who's already involved. And let's do all this stuff. And all they had to do is just make the goddamn hardware more reliable. Call it a VESC 6, call it whatever you want, and do that. And that's all we did with Foxbox. And then the funny thing is, when they stopped us using VESC, that was like brilliant for me, because that opened the door to my marketing mind. And I'm like, cool, this is a product we can brand our own thing now, and we can do it in a way that benefits the community. And that's when I started thinking,
thanks, Frank.
Yeah, exactly. It got me thinking. And now everyone just wants Foxboxes. He helped us, man. I mean, he helped everyone, because everyone got motivated to make this thing better.
Yeah, and cheaper.
Yeah, it's too much. I mean, you know this as good as everyone, that a lot of people getting into electric skateboards, they're like their first build, they've got to do it on the cheap. You know, they've got to, they don't have a big budget. You know, the thing is, what happens for anyone watching this who's never built an electric skateboard, generally what happens, your first build, you go, oh, I've got $500, and you're like, I want to build the cheapest one I can, and you try to do it on a budget, and you might actually go down that path, and then you realize a few months later when everything breaks down, oh fuck, I should have just spent a bit more and made a better one, and that happens to everyone. So don't worry about that, anyone.
And on the other side of the spectrum, you have me. I'll order a $1,500 kit from Australia instead of buying the Stormtrooper costume that my wife told me I couldn't have.
Yeah, man, that was a good decision. You made the right. Does that still work anyway? By the way, does it still?
I still have the original 10 amp hour 6S battery pack. I can't.
Nice, man.
It's puffed, but I can't bring myself to throw it away. There's too many memories.
It's a collector's item now, right?
It is. Dude.
Yeah, delays. It's like, I don't know. Do you have problems with delays? Chinese suppliers saying one thing and doing the opposite?
Oh yeah, dude. I got Jolin like, yeah, we got your order. We'll get them out before CNY. No, but like, you're really good at spin. You are really fucking good at spin. I swear to God, like, you can take. Okay, it's raining giant turds outside, but these are VIP premium turds. You can only get them here. I fucking love that shit.
You know the secret about
I look up to you with that shit, man, because I can't bring myself to do it, but it's freaking amazing. I love watching you work.
But you know how I do it?
How?
The secret is never make anything up. If everything is actually true, then the spin, it doesn't matter how I say it or how it's delivered.
You're right. You're right.
It's always real, and people are like, that's impossible. How could that happen? Yeah. But everything I've ever had to say about delays or whatever, it's always actually real. It's just hard to believe, I think, sometimes. So yeah, for anyone watching that who doesn't believe me when I say shit that doesn't make sense, like, it's always true. It's always just unbelievable, though. So yeah, where were we? Fuck boxes.
Oh yeah, I've sold 160 of those motherfuckers.
Good, man.
And that's just since December, since we started this. Well, I guess it was November. We started, or maybe it was August. We started the subscription thing. I don't remember when I got my boost. Yeah, it was August, but I had to go back and look.
Is that subscription thing working out all right, or what?
Yeah, it's working out. Really, what helped me out though was getting the first 10 to begin with. Like, the fact that it was on consignment helped me. Like, you know, just being able to do that, I was able to flip those, and then I got more, and then I flipped those, and I got more, and now I'm on 20 at a time. I've ordered 40 at a time before. It's been kind of crazy. They move, and people don't mind pre-ordering from me. It's like you said, if you're just straight with them, they'll give you whatever you want, really, and they'll take you serious. So I put right on my website, hey, I don't have these in stock right now, but they'll ship within a couple weeks, because they usually ship to me within a couple weeks. You know, that kind of language.
Yeah.
And people buy the shit out of those
good,
things.
Man. I mean,
I'm excited about the D series.
Yeah, dude. Did you watch that video?
Yeah, I did. But I was looking at it, and I was looking at the renders.
That's going to change. That's going to change the game, man. Like, the motivation behind that is, and this goes back to what I was saying before about the Chinese getting their shit together a little bit.
Yeah, back to that.
One thing that they're like doing pretty well now is making dual motor controllers, and they're not particularly good because you can't really customize them and you can't really adapt them to different motors. You sort of got to buy the motor that it was designed for and whatnot, which is what all these Chinese factories are doing, that are coming out with these dual hub motor builds, you know, they're buying the motor controller and the motors as a package for cheap and putting it together with a battery, and there you go. You've got a Wogo, you've got a freaking Meepo, you've got a whatever they're called.
Exactly.
So our next challenge is to take on China in that game. We want to bring this dual FOC box to the market. It's going to be more cost effective, as you can imagine, than buying two separate ones.
Yeah.
And join them together. And we're going to make that. We're going to put that on we're going to make it wholesale as well for you guys, and the rest of the certified resellers. So you can use it in your own builds. You can basically sell it to the end user as well. But you know the coolest thing about it? We're simplifying it so that you don't even need a computer. Like, you know, one of the things that kills us with the Raptor 2 at the moment is running the motor configuration on each motor and getting it set up, working well.
That's a time sink.
Sucks.
That is such a huge time. It's a time sink for me, and I don't have even 100th of the volume that you do. Like, it's I can't even imagine your guys, like, trying to assemble those Raptor 2s, running motor detection on every one of them, because even if you get them right from the factory, one of them's going to be backwards.
Yeah.
You have to run detection on at least one motor, no matter what. And that's crazy town. That's a good 10, 15 minutes if you're doing FOC and you're not doing like complete presets and everything.
So one of the biggest things that you'll see when you watch that video is this new, it's codenamed D series at the moment. That's not its official name. I'll reveal the true name later, but the thing you'll be able to do with it is connect any motor to it, right? You connect two motors and rotate the motor with your hand. Yeah, rotate it with your hand the way that you want it to spin, and that's it.
But what you're describing is you can pre-wire the entire thing and then USB it, twist it, and it's done.
Yeah, turn it on, rotate at the moment, I think you still have to open the app or something like that just to get it started. But we're going to, eventually there'll be none of that. It'll just be ready to go. So you won't have to know anything about the settings and the current, all that technical stuff that people don't really know about.
You won't have to detect impedance.
You just don't need to know.
Yeah, that sounds like a dream. I will take 10 of those immediately. Thank you.
I want to make sure that anyone watching this who doesn't know about what you do, after watching this, they'll have a good grasp of things. So what are you doing right now? I mean, we've gone over the past and how we got to know each other, and you've mentioned you're doing FOC boxes and you're doing Evolve batteries, and you make your own custom builds, like whatever people want, they can just call you up and you do it. So what's the plan? What are you going to do in like 5 years from now?
I have 5 years. 5 years I'm going to have a freaking factory. That's what I'm going to have.
Nice.
So one of the things I love about our relationship is how different we are and how different we approach things, and yet we talk and we exchange ideas and we go back and forth and we have conversations like this, and that's awesome. I'm going to try to bring everything in-house. I don't like to outsource things for all the reasons you've described. Supply chain issues. I'm going to have to order my parts, obviously, but I'm already building my own packs. I press my own decks. I have my own enclosures made locally, and I'm hoping to bring that back in-house because I used to make them myself also. I've got, once you guys get your supply chain stabilized and you have basically everything on tap, which is really close to being there, that'll make me feel a lot better. And then I've got my own motors, my own mounts. You guys out there watching this might know I'm also going to be building the Carvon Exos and Evos, and that's where I'm going. and I joke about this. I'm writing a book, by the way. But in it,
nice.
Yeah, it's more than just the danger manual. The danger manual was kind of a toe in the publishing waters, and people seem to like that. The danger manual is something I ship with my boards, but you can buy it a la carte. It's basically e-skates and how to be a good e-skater, and also how to take care of your shit. But beyond that, what I'm going to be doing is, in 5 years, I'm going to be building other people's boards. I'm going to be building, well, basically, here's the 4 shit pillars. I've got my shit, your shit, their shit, and the other shit.
Yeah.
And that's how my business is going to be propped up, on the 4 shit pillars. I got my shit, which is it's shit that I make. It's shit that I'm going to be making non-custom. And I'm rolling that out this year. I'm going to be making a non-custom board. Look for that. It's going to be priced around somewhere $2,500, $2,700. It's based on everything I've learned from building customer boards that were completely custom. Yeah. Everything that worked, everything that didn't work, everything I learned. So then I have your shit, which is the customs. That's the shit I build for you. That's the shit you want. You want your shit with these pulleys and these wheels and these trucks and all that. And they're gonna, like I mentioned earlier, they're gonna go up by $1,000 because that shit's hard.
Yeah, man. And it's like you got to spend time talking to people. That time is money, right?
That time is money, and I'll tell you what. Just the build hours alone, we're talking 20+ hours just building.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I'm not cheap. My hours aren't cheap. And yeah, if you factor in the hours of communication, which, here's the thing, I kind of sell myself a little short. Before the actual sale, I don't bill for that. And I could. Yeah. I need to factor that in after the fact somehow. Because I do spend time out of my day talking to you about why we shouldn't use lipos in your build, and why we should really go with a good cell, and like why I can't tape it to a deck. Like, these are a lot of kinds of questions that when people come to me, they don't understand why a board costs $2,700. So you have to explain that, and then you have to convince them, and then they finally make the purchase, and that is usually like 5 or 6 weeks into the conversation. Not kidding. That's a lot of time. So then we have their shit.
What you're doing with those custom builds is tough.
It really is.
It's hard because you're reinventing the build every single time.
Every time is research and innovation. Every time.
Yeah.
And hey, this E-switch worked for that 170-pound guy, but guess what? This E-switch isn't going to work for that 250-pound dude trying to go 40 miles an hour carrying 30 pounds of gear. That's just not going to work.
On He's going to float his shit. Four-wheel drive bloody beast.
Monstrosity, So then you gotta be like, well, these E-switches that I made, they don't hold up to that kind of braking regen. They just don't. They hold up to like 80% of everything else. Mine lasted a year. But this other guy, he weighs 300 pounds and he's trying to climb hills he's going uphill both ways to work. That kind of guy.
Yeah.
And So then you have to source something and find something, and then maybe that doesn't work, and then you have to source something else. And the good news is I have built-in testing here, because my 16-year-old son Jake, he loves to test new stuff, and he doesn't mind streeting his face now and then to figure out if something works. So we pad him up in bubble wrap in a helmet, and we send him out there on this new Chinese crap that we just found, and it either works or it doesn't. To move it on, the third shit pillar is actually their shit. So that's the custom stuff. The fourth pillar is the other shit. Other people's shit is the Kickstarters. That's like Carvon, and if I take on another Kickstarter or another company, that'll fall into that category. And I think that's really the only reason. Oh, and the Evolve mods. That's definitely other people's shit. When I take somebody else's board and modify it.
So you're taking, basically what you're saying is you're offering contract manufacturing services. You're taking people's parts, they send them to you, and you build it to their spec and send it back to them. I think there's a big market there for that. Yeah, definitely. Because what I think is going to happen is there's going to be lots of small players who want to design their own thing that suits their own brand or whatever and has their own stuff. but they don't have the capacity to assemble it. And I know this better than anyone because that's our biggest struggle at Enertion. I know how to design the parts. I know how to get all the parts made.
Yeah. You could probably build 10 or 15 a day for yourself, you know, like, but trying to meet this kind of crazy demand that you have, holy cow, you do need a factory. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and if I put it this way, if I could build Raptor 2s in the US, I mean, even if it was only like 20 or 30 a month, that would make a huge difference. So, mate, we might be able to do something there. How about that?
You know what's funny is last year you tried to ask me how much it would take to quit my job. I'll tell you what.
Yes, I did.
Let me get started on these Carvons, and we'll be good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I will totally build Raptor 2s for U.S. shipment. And actually, the Carvons are probably going to be what gets me out of the library. Hi, library. But the
Carvons, if you're watching, you've just lost an employee.
Sorry. But the Carvons are going to get me out of the library. And if Enertion wanted to throw me a bone after I got started on those, hell yes. This year I will quit the library and build Raptors if that's what you would like me to do.
I mean, look, I can't guarantee anything, but I just know that in like to expand and to achieve like the things that I want to achieve and to service the demand in the US, because that's the biggest market, I'm going to need people like yourself who have the ability to receive all these parts, screw it all together, make sure it works, put it in a box and send it to the courier. I mean, that kind of resource in America for a business like mine and Carvon and whoever else is in our sort of position is huge. So that's exciting, man. I think if you can do that, that's going to really cement you in the history books, you know, as someone who was there and made high-performance electric skateboards a reality for the market. Because, you know, that I think high-performance electric skateboards, it's its own special, its own category of the market, and I think it's got a huge room to grow.
Yes.
And I think people don't even understand what high-performance means. So, you know, we've got to
they have no
people
clue.
Need to understand that. Yeah.
Not even a clue what that...
I think we've covered a fair amount of stuff, and we might tee this up again in a few weeks, and we can talk a bit more about the future of electric skateboarding.
I'm game.
Cool, bro. Well, thanks for the time today. It was good catching up. It's been a while.
Hell yeah.
I hope everyone watching this has got a bit of an insight into what we do. I mean, how we got to where we are, and why we do what we do. So hopefully that gives you viewers a little bit of an insight into that. And check Longhaired Boy out. He's got, what is your website? Is it longhairedboy.com?
That is correct. LONGHAIREDBOY.com.
Cool. And we might share this video in the forums and stuff as well. I'm sure everyone would like to see what we spoke about during our little chat. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you all later. Bye.
Good night.
See you, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Later.